Russia and the United States find a way forward in Syria. The presidents of both countries met for the first time in more than 2 years to try and tackle that question. This comes as more than 500,000 migrants have now been counted in Europe, about half of them fleeing the violence in Syria. CCTV's White House correspondent Jessica Stone is here, and we want to know, what have you learned? This was a very important meeting.
It was indeed. It lasted about 95 minutes, ending about an hour ago, and that's all I've got for you, Mike. The White House does say that the top priority for the United States during the conversation was Ukraine, but it's clear that the Kremlin's top priority is Syria, and the timing is key.
They are frosty relations temporarily warmed by a dire need. The U.S. and Russian presidents took no questions before their historic meeting, but both maintain competing visions of how to resolve the Syrian crisis. The U.S.-led coalition currently includes 60 nations from Europe to the Middle East and Africa.
Lasting stability can only take hold when the people of Syria forge an agreement to live together peacefully. The United States is prepared to work with any nation, including Russia and Iran, to resolve the conflict.
The Russian plan includes Syria and Iran in a new coalition to defeat ISIL in Syria.
Similar to the anti-Hitler coalition, it could unite a broad range of forces that are resolutely resisting those who are just like Nazis, so evil and hating humankind.
U.S. President Barack Obama's hand has been weakened by failed American efforts to train the so-called moderate Syrian opposition. 2 weeks ago, a top American general said only 4 or 5 remained from the first wave of recruits. And the Pentagon now admits dozens of other recruits gave away arms to an al-Qaeda affiliate. Russian President Vladimir Putin has already moved military equipment and trainers into Syria and holds a close alliance with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Iran is reportedly advising the Syrian military as well.
We think it is an enormous mistake to refuse to cooperate with the Syrian government and its armed forces who are valiantly fighting terrorism face to face.
With more than 500,000 migrants pouring into Europe this year, many looking to escape the violence in Syria, pressure is mounting to act. But many in the U.S.-led coalition, from the UK to Saudi Arabia to Jordan, do not support working with Assad.
We must recognize that there cannot be, after so much bloodshed, so much carnage, a return to the pre-war status quo.
After 2 years working at the same negotiating table to reach a nuclear agreement with Iran, Russia and the United States have shown they can work together to achieve results. The question is, will they do it again?
And just to underscore the shift in the international community's posture towards the problem in Syria, the UN Secretary General for the first time called for the Syrian crisis to be referred to the International Criminal Court and said 5 countries hold the key to a political solution in Syria: the U.S., Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Russia, and Iran. And Mike, 2 of those just got more involved.
Well, here's the interesting thing about all of this, as you well know, it's all these strange bedfellows. Now Iraq
Very
cooperating with Iran and Russia, but also in the camp with the U.S., and this, I guess, is creating some tensions there as well.
Well, you can imagine the U.S. wasn't going into Iraq to share intelligence with Russia and Iran, and now that's very likely a scenario that could happen. And of course, al-Abadi, before getting on the plane to the United Nations, kind of had to defend his decision and basically say, hey, we have a big problem here. We needed Russia's help, and they're providing it.